All right, so first play we're going to look at, 2nd and 2, one of the Patriots' first offensive plays.
They kind of kept doing what they were doing. And again, I think we're going to have to circle this all the way back to Drake Maye. Drake Maye played a professional, commanding game. And it's interesting because after last week, there was a lot of trepidation, right? Like, I think the general consensus with a lot of Patriots Nation, at least in the overreaction column, was, shit, did we not get the guy? Oh no, like if May's not good, this whole thing is dead.
Too much on his plate.
And then the too much on its plate narrative the whole way through. And both of these guys, both McDaniels and Maye, saying no, but of course you expect them to. He just looked uncomfortable. So to see him look totally comfortable and totally in command in a game where he didn't, I don't know if you're going to see, when you look at the tape, Taylor, I don't know if you're going to have any turnover-worthy plays on here in all game long. I think a couple times he stepped into
Tape Tuesday is going to be fun, Taylor.
Yes, it is. I'm actually excited.
But there's so many things there. So again, I think you have to kind of look at Maye here as the one steady rock throughout this, and Stevenson throughout the whole game. Their commitment to the run, their ability to kind of keep it out there. Rhamondre not only running, but coming out of the backfield. But Drake Maye doing pretty much everything right. And it wasn't just not making mistakes. It was ball placement this week. So much better than last week. You think of that big gain to Rhamondre Stevenson, even the wheel route to Henderson earlier in the game, putting the ball exactly where it needed to be. Maybe one bad throw I remember early to Hooper where he could have had a walk-in touchdown on that first drive. But then he makes up for it, with a couple great throws. That throw to Booty in the bucket. He made a couple outstanding plays, and also some of the lesser stuff, which, Taylor, you were tweeting about, like just taking what's there on a 2nd and long, putting them into 3rd and manageable. There was so much of that this game that when you look through it all, you're going to be like, that was a great play. That was a great play. That was a great play. He made so many of them. And so I think for Patriots fans, you got to feel a whole lot better after this week about Maye than you did last week if you did start to get a little bit nervous.
Absolutely. And for me, obviously the big throws were awesome. Like Rhamondre, I'm looking through my notes. He had the big scramble on 3rd down to move the chains. I love those things, but more than anything, it was it's 2nd and forever. Let me just get the ball down to Rhamondre, let him work after the catch. Then Rhamondre paying it off by getting 10 plus yards and setting them up for 3rd and manageable situations. That's the kind of stuff where I'm like, this is a sophomore quarterback who last week we talked about it, not always taking, some of the gimme throws or just flat out missing when he did see them. And then you saw him picking his spots appropriately and then breaking the defenses back when they gave him opportunities. The only reason I don't think he had an even better game was because he didn't get the ball in the 3rd quarter. The Patriots had the ball the entire 1st quarter, a little bit more back and forth in the 2nd. Then the 3rd, I think they had the ball 3 plays before they got the ball the 2nd time. And that possession, obviously didn't go very well. So I was extremely impressed by Drake Maye. Obviously, the big-time plays. Also, the Booty touchdown was fantastic. Weird. They did throw Booty. I think that was his only target in the entire game, which
weird.
Was bizarre. Maybe it's because they were playing. Not even because they were playing a lot of zone. Because Booty
one catch, one target, 16 yards and a tut. Yeah, that's crazy.
I hope somebody asked him about that in the locker room. It's a win, so I don't think he'll be too upset about it.
Right.
I'll definitely ask him about it. But the throw to Booty, taking advantage of that opportunity when he could, just really. I said on the radio today on 98.5, I think this could be Drake Maye's coming out party today. I don't know if I mentioned it exactly on the pregame show, but against this defense, you were thinking as long as they hold up front, it should be. And some of the sacks, fixture play action protections. Also, last week, what did we say on the postgame show I'm kind of getting off on a tangent, but what did we say last week about Travion Henderson not being used a lot? Probably because of pass blocking, right? Maybe they don't trust the rookie quite yet. What did we see? One of those sacks, I think he was
2 penalties or 1 penalty.
He had 2 holding penalties on offense, 1 on special teams, and then I think he gave up the sack on chop because Hunter chips him out of the backfield and comes out on a corner route, and then Henderson goes off in a check down way too fast. He had to have been responsible there. So, there were some ups and downs, of course, but Drake's ability to really elevate the offense and take what was there, I didn't think he was responsible for any of those sacks. Seemed like, if anything, he held on to it rather than trying to force a play and was just like, hey, I got to go down and just live to fight another down. I was very thoroughly impressed with Drake Maye in a way I haven't been in a very long time.
Yeah, a couple things on Drake, and just going from last week to this week and sort of the thoughts and the storylines around him, right? We talk about the pregame jitters into the first drive. He has to get himself ready, and he he's shaky at starts and he's skying throws because he has to settle down. And then the too much on his plate thing. He threw those out the window today, right? The first drive, they go down, dinks, dunks, not just dinks and dunks. I don't mean that in a negative connotation, but he gets them down the field.
Cook what was there.
Exactly. Takes what's there. He brings them down. First drive, Mac Hollins, touchdown, easy money. And then the too much on your plate narrative, there was this one play, I'm sure he did this multiple times, but they talked about it on the broadcast and they showed the replay of it where he uses his eyes and he moves coverage to get Hunter Henry wide open and dumps it off to him for a gain. If you have too much on your plate and you're thinking way too much pre-snap, post-snap, freaking out, trying to get things done, the second you get the ball, you're just going to try and make a play, and you're going to probably be thinking of way too much. You're not going to have time to sit there and move coverage with your eyes all the time. Now, it's something you learn, but the fact that he's doing it this early tells me that he has control because, okay, I know what we're looking for. I know what this play is supposed to do. I know that if I move this guy one way, Hunter's going to be open this way, and we can get off for a gain. So there was a couple little things in this game that tells me that, maybe there isn't too much on his plate, and maybe he is just going to have to take it in stride and keep learning and keep going. And so he was very impressive. He completed 19 and 23 passes. I know that's accurate, not accurate. I don't know what it is, but good stuff from Maye all around, and impressive. And he steadied them, like you said, John, and hopefully they only go up from here on offense.
Yeah. Was the booty touchdown the greatest throw ever or like the worst throw ever? I'm trying to figure it out because that placement is insane, but he throws that balloon to him and it just lands perfectly. It was such a nice, I was amazed by the touch today. I'm going to go in the category of terrific ball there, and just so many balls put in exactly the right place there. But
again, and a nasty catch from Booty too. Just nasty.
Nasty catch. It's still they're still managing him, right? For what it's worth. They're still trying to they're trying to produce a game like this rather than have him go out there and just run around like crazy and create his own stuff, even though obviously the legs were evident here, but that was Maye making good scramble decisions. We have yet to see the reins come off with some, designed runs, RPOs, and things like that, where I do think is another level of unlocking this offense here that's going to have to keep the defense honest in ways that they don't have to. Taylor hates this point. He hates it.
No, you're wrong. They did it last week.
Yeah, but I'm saying more frequently you want to see Drake Maye out there. And I don't know if he had any today. Did he?
Well, no, he didn't have any designed runs, but he did have 3 bootlegs. He only had 1 last week. So
I love the boot, and I love the boot produced a touchdown out of it. And I think that's great. You want to get him out on the move whenever you can. And I certainly think that's good to move him out of the pocket rather than just have him stand there the whole time. But again, I still think there's another level to Maye's game. You're not seeing him press the ball down the field very much. And again, it might have to do with the Patriots personnel, and you're not seeing the legs yet. But what you saw here is like a perfect Josh McDaniels sort of game, the way it's kind of schemed up. Take what you have, take the profits, limit the mistakes, making the right reads, making the right decisions. I thought it checked almost every single box in terms of the things you were worried about in terms of too much on his plate. It didn't seem it at all today.
I think they definitely are trying to ramp him up a little bit. That's what we talk about, the not putting too much on his plate. Josh,
the bucket, the bucket.
Exactly, refers to it as bucket. So, and he said even this week, I have a global view of Drake Maye because ideally he's going to be with Drake for a decade. So he's in no rush to just empty out the playbook, So I understand, but I do like that we did see a progression. No, there were no designed runs. And what's up, Bobby?
Bobby Manning in the house.
But we did see again,
getting in here.
The bootleg opportunities, those are just gimmies that this offense has never had in past years. And we've seen it with a bunch of offenses like the Shanahanian system, where literally just dump it off, look it off, get Hunter Henry in the flat, get a chunk of yards versus the traditional play action where everybody knows exactly where the spot's going to be and they can just tee off when they diagnose it. So definitely still some things to add. You're not wrong, John, but I don't necessarily mind, especially as long as they're winning. And it was nice that the playbook was open all game, so they actually had options versus last week, where by the time they got to the second half, I think they called a handful of play actions because they weren't running the ball.